scientific group.
1987 Farmer Ifman two-wheel drive world champion in the United States, Joel Johnson. What car were you using to win the final today? The Kelsey Ultimate.
Our world champion.
Our world championship, Matt Francis. Greg Hodap in the middle.
We have Ryan Dunbar.
What is up, everybody? Gonna do a little recap tonight. Y'all see I've got an empty spot there beside me for a special guest that will be joining us very, very soon. I'm just getting us to a few other groups. If y'all can give me just a few minutes, we'll let a few people get on, and we're going to discuss the JConcepts Vintage Clash of Champions and Old School RC Reunion. What an epic, epic event. Wow, I'm blown away with the way everything went. And, I wanted to take a chance to kind of talk through that. Still a little sick, still got something going on, but I'm going to do my best to get through this. I just realized I left my water sitting somewhere, so I'm going to go grab that real quick. How's everybody doing tonight? Let me see a couple comments so I can know that the comments are working okay. I hope you're all doing really well. All right. Larry Doe in the house. Larry, it was amazing sitting across from you all week, my man, and getting to know you a little bit better. Thanks for coming and hanging out. And wow, what a great event. The sickness is worth it, I guess. Still don't know what the hell I had. I was told one thing, but I think it's something else. So we will see. I have heard that several were sick, but that is okay, I guess, as long as everybody is okay and getting well. Just posting to a few more locations here. Let me see here. MIP. Bam. Got that. Iconic. I want to post on there. Share it there. All right. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys. Looks like we got 7 viewers right now. We're going to give it a little more time. Let me go grab my water real quick, y'all. Finally got the RC room put back together a little bit this weekend. As you guys can see behind me, a few things. What is up, Gabe Boudreau? Thank you, Gabe, so much for being there, my man, from the bottom of our heart, my heart, everybody's hearts. I know it was such a touching moment for you, and we are going to have you on soon. We've got something, those that are already here, we got something very, very special planned for the legends that none of them know about, that's working in the background right now. I'm also really working hard to try to get all the information in one spot. I still need to get all the YouTube videos uploaded from, get all the videos uploaded from the race over to the site, to the old school. I'm going to try to, all the videos and different things, I'm going to try to house in the Old School RC YouTube page So definitely make sure you guys are checking that out. Let me make sure this posted everywhere. Trying to see if I see it on Old School yet. There we go. We are live. Let me open a couple other things I want to open here real quick, y'all. It's kind of rushed to get home and get set up. And then my tax person called me to finalize my taxes. Hey, Lance, thank you, buddy. I am feeling a little better, not fantastic yet, but that's okay. Wife and I are both pretty sick still, but hey, you know what? Sometimes when you put everything you got into something, you know, it can be hard. You know what I mean? It can take a lot out of you. So I just want to make sure I cover everything. First thing I want to do is truly thank the founding fathers. Drew Boyd, man, you've been a great partner for all this, and you showed it at the race as well. You worked really hard, very well planned. Everything was very well thought through, and I can't thank you enough. My buddy Mike Kirby, you know, we had a vision, and you know, we talked about it at your farm about 9 years ago about doing a reunion type race and pulling legends from the 80s and 90s together. And we were able to accomplish that. And I can't thank you enough for being a great friend, you know, an admin of Old School RC for over 10 years now. And, you know, all that you've done for me personally and, you know, all the people in RC. Drew and Angie, or I'm sorry, Eddie and Angie, who's your RC Hobbyplex? Wow. Eddie, you just totally knocked it out of the park with the track set up. Angie, the organization on the days of the event, keeping us, you know, on task. You know, all that you dealt with from the time people call in about registration to the stuff you dealt with on the day of the race. I know it wasn't easy, Angie, and I appreciate you very, very much. You know, you got to have somebody that is strong and very well organized to help keep all this stuff balanced with that many people there. You know, there were days I think we probably had, you know, over 300 people in the building, and you know, you all, Antoine, thank you. The Henley boys, thank you. David, Talon. I know you all put a ton into this, and I can't thank you enough. The event, it went really, really well. The facilities was clean. You know, Antoine, I hate that you had to clean up people's shit, to be honest, and I can't thank you enough for that, my brother. And we're going to definitely do something good for you for all your hard work during this time. You know, you know, honestly, I don't know that we could have asked for something to be executed better. And that's because, you know, I have a saying that you get out of something what you put in it. And I think the fruits of our labor paid off. And it wasn't a me. It wasn't a Drew. It wasn't a Mike. It wasn't just the Henleys. It wasn't just Jason Runo. It was a group that came together and had a mission. And I truly feel that we accomplished that mission. And, you know, I've been to a lot of races with a lot of the people, and, you know, that were there, and, you know, the comments and the different things were just mind blowing. Wow. You know, it was truly, you know, a dream come true, this event. You know, when you have something in your mind for that long and you work so hard for it, you know, I think the emotions really, really hit me when I started seeing everybody show up. And, you know, when I saw all those legends on the driver's stand again, man, I didn't think I would ever see Jay Halsey, Jay Halsey, Joel Johnson, Eustace Moore, Curtis Hustings, Matt Francis, Chris Dosick, Gabe Boudreau. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, and I know I'm forgetting several guys, and I'll pull up the whole list of the legends. But to see that, when I saw that for the first time, I was like, holy crap, we did it. What's up, Ron? How are you, buddy? I hadn't seen you in a minute. Hey, Mark. Hey, Lance. Hey, Gabe. Hey, Lance, my man. Jeremy. Jason Hall. Man, I'm so sad that you had to leave early. But, you know, to see all that kind of come true was just amazing. Why is Live RC not wanting to pull up? Give me just 1 second, guys. You know, those that were there that are following right now, I would love you to kind of put some comments on kind of what the race meant to you, so that we can talk about that if y'all don't mind. That would be absolutely amazing if you don't mind. Let me see here. I'm trying to get live results to open. All right, here we go. All right. So, you know, I want to kind of take first, to thank all those involved. Jason Runo, thank you for believing in us, and thank you for all you do for RC. You know, you are a true inspiration that I think, you know, keeps RC going the right direction. And I don't know how many people I had tell me at this event that this is really what RC needed. It needed, you know, kind of a gathering, you know, friends reuniting for the first time in years. And, you know, I think it accomplished that. And, you know, I definitely think that vintage has a place in today's RC for sure. And, you know, we proved, you know, that those cars did really, really well on that surface. And, you know, it took people some time, you know, because it's high traction. But the flow that Eddie put in that track, wow. So thank you, Jason. I want to take a moment to thank my good buddy, Heath Mescal of Cal RC. The trophy match turned out amazing. Be main, folks, for vintage. If you finished first through third and you did not get your mat, please reach out to me. I have some left. I still haven't had time to sort through. But if you did not get one, I brought them with me so I can make sure that they get shipped out to the people that won them. I think I've got a first, a second, and a couple thirds that are sitting here. I don't even know if I know that Drew Boyd had a first in a class, and maybe he didn't get his. I'm not sure. But they knocked it out of the park with those mats, man. And not only that, having Adam Ross there representing Cal RC was special. You know, I know now that Heath has picked a very special person. We actually did a LiveCast, their 55th show last night on Cal RC, if y'all want to check it out as well, where we talked a little bit about the racing if you haven't seen it yet. We talked about the event. You know, we talked about my history with Cal RC. I've been on Cal RC now 10 plus years, you know, and helped create that team kind of from the start. And it's great to see that he's continuing to move forward. You know, when I was with them, they had like 5 products. You know, I'm sitting here looking at my table and all the great inventions and the different things that they've come out with. So thank you, Heath, from the bottom of my heart for all you've done for me over the years. And guys, I don't have much of a voice, so I'm trying. I may sound emotional. I am, but I'm not like tearing up. I just can't hardly talk. So, Yes, Christy, that is B main winners, first place who bumped to the A, and second, third. Yes, we do it differently. I always think the B name person, if they won the B, they deserve their trophy. I know a lot of people don't do that. And if they go on to the A and get another one, good for them. So B main vintage, first place, second place, and third place, the way you finished in that B main. I know we only have a few left. So, but Heath, thank you. Team Associated. I really want to give a big special thank to Curtis Husting. He's truly been behind me and this entire event the entire time. And, I'm gonna be honest, we had to push through some challenges there. But Curtis, man, you have been a great friend, and you mean a lot to me, and I hope you know that. He was very inspirational, or I don't think inspirational is the right word. Strategically helped get people like Jay there, Pavitas, Francis. He brought in Michael Wartle the second day to do some media. The big donation was a surprise to Kenwald and the Crohn's Foundation. AE put a lot into this race, and I'm hoping, in all honesty, that we can go support theirs in Vegas next. Mean a lot to me, mean a lot to AE. I know it's not the AE that a lot of us grew to love, and there's some changes, but you still have those people there at that office that are very, very passionate about what they're doing every single day, and they fight the battle to try to give us what we want. And they listen, right? They've listened to me for a long time, and sometimes I say things that may come out different than what I originally said, but they support the vintage community. And this race in Vegas is going to be our way to kind of say, hey guys, let's go support it. I know we don't all agree with everything that's going on, but I can tell you this, I know why they're doing what they're doing. It's because they want this event to be, fantastic, as good as the one we just put on. And, we've already got legends like Masami, Jay Halsey, I believe, Pavitas. And I can't say all the names just yet because they haven't all been announced, but I'm pretty sure Craig Drescher is going to be there because I know he's on the committee like I am for the race. So I kind of put that to the back burner because I wanted to make sure we had the very best race possible. And just so y'all know, our race wasn't about numbers. It was about community and having a fantastic event. More than anything, I wanted this for the vintage community. And I know that the rest of the team did as well. And, that's really where the reunion piece came in. And, it was amazing. Yes, Jake, the associated race, it is going to be a built track inside a hotel arena. And it is going to be real dirt. I don't know the dirt yet, but as soon as I do, I will let you guys know. It is going to be ran European style, which we're kind of splitting the classes up by year a little better. And we'll see. We've not tried that in the US yet, but we'll see how it works. You're right, Lance. Curtis was amazing. He carried himself very well the entire weekend. He was having a great freaking time, I can tell you that. So thank you, Curtis and Team Associated. There's a few others behind the scenes that really, really help. Brad Geck has always been a very, very close friend. Mike helped some. And then Richard Saxton. Richard Saxton is the one that really stepped in and said, hey, guys, we're supporting this event. And Richard, thank you, buddy. And you have my commitment to try to help you all make this race in Vegas the best that we can, for sure. Moving on, MIP. Wow. I've had I've had a couple missed opportunities of seeing Eustace a few times recently, and seeing you, and we've talked on the phone, and we've had LiveCast, and we've done different things. And, when I was just a teen, probably, I'm thinking it was probably 87. You know, I remember Eustace walking up to me and handing me an MIP transmission for my RC10. And I've always cherished that man. And the things he has done for the industry is just absolutely amazing. He is a trooper, man. And he kicked it with us, man. He did good. He was right there with us. I'm proud of his racing. I'm proud that he is bringing the 410 Legend back. And, you know, he's bringing the last world version back that never made it to production because of all the other cars that come up. What is up, Josh? Thank you for being there, my man. Josh, I know you were a last minute addition, man. You came in and you wheeled the hell out of that car, man. So thanks for being there, Josh. It was good to get to know you a little bit better. What up, Rob? So, you know, thank you, Eustace. I got a bunch of sponsors I want to help or mention, guys. You know, it was fantastic. Of course, we had Mod there, Matt Olson and your group. Thank you, guys, man. The content you created, the pictures were just absolutely amazing. You guys, my wife and I were talking about it, and we're like, do those people, did they ever get a break? You know, they're there working 12 hours. Did they eat lunch? Did they do all these things? And, you know, I try to always be a caring person and check on people. And I did not check on them to make sure they had what they needed. You know, but Matt Olson and team, thank you. I'm sorry. I have the names pulled up here somewhere if I can find them, but we appreciate all you did, Matt. You guys knocked it out of the park. Thank you from everybody for making this race special. You know, we have got some feedback from Matt, and they did say that this race actually had more hits, more traction, more clicks than the last Worlds event they did. What's up, Adam? How are you, buddy? So that is huge. To say that we competed against the Worlds with coverage and clicks and shares and the different things, that's huge. So thank you, Matt. JC Racing, man. Wow. To have my buddy John come all the way over from the UK and spend the week with me and my wife and everybody at the race was just special. We had such amazing moments throughout the weekend. And it's so funny, man. You're sitting there, you know, the accents may be different, but we're the same people, man. He was just such a good-hearted person that is just like everybody else. Funny. He's funny too. But to get to spend time with him and get to have him come to America for the first time for this race, that is special. What up, Jason? What up, Jerome? Yes, they did, buddy. They burnt. I don't know what he just said, Jan and the Mark. Thank you, Lance, about Mod. You know, there's also a few other people I want to thank. I have a whole list here of things I want to talk about. I want to thank Robert Stevens. He and Adam Rails both, thank you guys. They work tirelessly behind the scenes, working on these cars for the Legends. And, you know, Adam, I agree with you. The event was just overwhelming at times, but it was absolutely amazing. And we could not have done it without you. What up, Jerome? Kissy, kissy to you too, buddy. Wow. You guys just knocked it apart. The cars were amazing. The Legends, you know, it's funny because, you know, we do all these works. We did all this work on these cars. You know, I had the honor, you know, of building Jay Halsey's for him. And, you know, I don't care what we did to these cars. When these guys get there, I was watching, and Jay had my car. He had it completely tore apart after we had it tested and running fantastic laps. What's up, Eddie? How are you, buddy? But I think they all tore their cars apart. I think I saw every one of them doing it at some point in time. I saw Greg with his part. I saw Matt with his apart. But, you know, we could not have done this without you guys. And you you did a special thing. Kirby for supplying a lot of cars. Eddie, I know you provided a lot of parts. Everybody put, their personal money into these rides. And, a lot of us left with them. I have a Dosix and Jay sitting here with me. But I can't thank you two enough. I really can't, Robert and Adam. I also want to thank Dwayne Walter. Wow. We put so much pressure on Dwayne. First off, we asked to be a sponsor of the event, DW Designs. Man, he knocked it out of the park. He painted. We just kept sending him more and more Legends bodies as they came in and asking them to do more and more. And then we even did Legends bodies that we wanted to come, that we were trying to entice to come. We even built them entire cars. Kirby, I know we built one for Gil Ossie Jr. We had Pavitas built and a backup. Most of the racers even have backup cars. But Dwayne, not only did he work harder, and I'm not trying to take anything away from any sponsor when I say this, but Dwayne Walter worked harder than any sponsor. He truly did. He painted bodies for us personally. He painted bodies for Legends. He painted bodies for the waffles. I think we probably raised as much money with his waffle bodies as we did any. He had bodies at the track to waffle or for the silent auction as well. Dwayne, I can't thank you enough. And I hope everybody here truly sees, and they send you so much work that it's all you can do for the rest of your life. I can't thank you enough, buddy. And your friendship over the years. I made sure you were pitted right beside me at the race. I don't know if you noticed that, but you're my boy Blue, and I appreciate all you did. And seeing you at that Legends dinner and the smile on your face, I literally could not do anything in RC anymore and be very happy with that smile and just what I saw you get out of that Legends dinner. Dwayne, you're a true friend, and I love you, brother. Greg Croft, man, the intro video, all the videos, he was there taking pictures throughout the event. He contributed to waffles. Greg, thank you. The Cow RC video that we did, the vintage video, Greg did that. Greg, thank you, man. You've become a great friend, and I appreciate all you do. We got some cool stuff coming for Kyosho soon. There were some interviews done with myself and Joel Johnson at the event that y'all will be seeing at some point in time. We do have a video that will be coming out of the Legends dinner soon. My buddy Adam Ross took the majority of it at the beginning. Wow, just what an event, man. The Legend dinner kicked it all off, and we probably could have had that, and I could have went home and been happy just because seeing all them walk in, the cheers as the new ones were walking in late. When Jay showed up, when Matt Francis showed up, and who was other Joel, when Joel showed up, everybody just erupted, man. It was just when Eustace showed up, it was just something special. So I want to share. I know I posted some pictures of the Legends dinner, but we hope to have a video very, very, very soon. Lindsay and Nora, thank you. They are the ones that really, I know Lindsay helped keep a lot of the interviews and stuff organized throughout she was coming and grabbing us when we needed to do an interview, and she helped keep us organized there. Lindsay is Chris Von Air's wife, or let's say it this way, Chris is Lindsay's husband. So we'll say it that way. Speaking of Von Air, we might have a special guest joining us. Y'all ready? You got your lipstick on? I don't know if you can hear me. Here you go, buddy. Can you turn that camera sideways? Whoop, whoop. There it is. I still got a few more sob stories to tell, Chris, but thank you. This is our two-wheel drive classic champion. Wow, not just classic champion. I think he swept 3 different classes. and probably would have had a fourth if he wouldn't have been running freaking wheel disc.
Well, you know.
But Chris, thank you for taking time. I'm going through a couple things. We're gonna talk here in a minute, but thank you for joining. It means a lot to me. So I was just in the middle of thanking Lindsay for all she did for the event. Actually, she was the silent auction keeper, and then we had Nora that came in and collected the money, baby. So thank you, Nora Diaz, as well. I really appreciate it. I don't know if Lindsay's there, but please give her a big salute for me and all her help throughout the weekend.
For sure.
Thank you, Lindsay. And I can't not thank my beautiful wife. I know I did a video and broadcasted across the world, but man, she was a huge help with this entire event, planning things, doing things, and keeping me intact throughout the weekend. You are a special woman, and I'm so glad you're my wife. And I hope we continue building this RC vintage community together. Let's just not get sick next time.
Yeah, you're the host.
Say what?
I said you're the host, man. You got us all.
I don't know, man. I don't know who the host is, but I don't know what the hell I have, but I don't think
it's been a hell of a week just trying to get back over it, man.
Oh my goodness, it's been rough, brother. It's been a rough week. I'm still not there.
Yeah.
My buddy Troy Gutter had showed up. He helped me get my rides kind of dialed for the mains. Speaking of my mains, guys, I'm not going to make an excuse about my finger, but it was tough. It was tough trying to get used to the handle. And, when you got your main finger that you're trying to wheel with, cars were good. I just wasn't. So I need somebody like Chris to always push me on setups for sure. More than anything, I want to thank the vintage community and the old school nation for turning out to this event, and y'all are what made it special. And without y'all, we just, we don't have these events. Right. So I can't thank you enough. And I hope that we were able to truly allow y'all to relive some childhood dreams, meet your legends. And, thank you very, very much. The Dunbar tribute, man. Wow. Drew and I have talked about this a little bit, and it's going to sound weird, but I really feel this race was planned to celebrate Dunbar's life. It's just kind of the way things kind of unfolded, and how he did all the work in the back end, and looking back at the the text and the comments, it's very odd how it worked. But I tell you what, I'm glad we were able to celebrate his life. And I don't know that you could have celebrated it any better than what we did. I sit here and, Brian, he knew, the bat ceremony. I do have it separated, and I'm trying to get it to download. It's been trying to download for days. But, Brian knew a lot about us, man, and he kept a close eye. He knew my colors, and, he did it up. And I can't thank the community enough. I asked everybody to sign this bat, and I will treasure this bat for the rest of my life. Thank you guys for that, for sure. I appreciate it. And having his dad there and being able to do that was a very, very, very special moment. So, talking about the event, we had 377 entries, I believe. We turned down, I think the final turn down number was 153 that we turned down in the end. And, we decided to do that. Originally, we wanted the event to be 500, but we wanted to be able to celebrate, right, Chris? You have time for each other, be able to go out and do stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And we were able to do that. So it was awesome to be able to kind of gather. Casino night was fun with the legends. We did a top golf night on night 2 that several people came out to. It was really cool to just be able to go out and have a good time. And the dinner on the last night, wow, we my wife kind of put that together at the last minute. I'm gonna be honest. I felt a little guilty when I was leaving the Legends dinner, and I'm like, man, I really wish everybody could have been here. And normally on the first night is tradition that I go out with the entire crew and we go out and eat. And I think the Vegas race will allow us to do that. Be able to come to the dinner. And then there's going to be like a celebration at the dinner where everybody can come to that. That's going to be part of their ticket. But to thank y'all for showing up and all the support to make this race special. I don't know, Chris. What are your thoughts, man? You've had time to kind of decompress. And by the way, congratulations, Chris. Chris TQ'd 4 classes.
Yeah.
4 classes, won 3 of them. Had a DNF in the mains, and he was out front when the wheel came off by quite a bit, if I remember right, in the truck race. Was that right?
No, I mean, the truck was going good. That was our first main of the day. Admittedly, I think I had fallen back to 4th. I was in battles with Rouse. I think at the time Hodap was in the lead.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, I really was hoping. I mean, Greg Hodap was racing. I mean, come on,
Right.
I mean, to me, the Gold Dust twins. I mean, Hodap to me always seemed like he was the truck guy. Kenwald was always the buggy walled.
Yeah.
So to be out there racing with Greg was pretty sweet. I know in the warm up, I pay attention to everything, and I know in the warm up he was trying to pull this rookie's chain. So
Yeah.
he was running me rough down the back straight a couple of times,
Uh-huh.
but I loved every minute of it. He was trying to get that pressure going, and it was awesome. And so to be able to have the opportunity to run with him was pretty sweet. I just wish I could have battled with him in the main, but just unfortunate vintage parts issues, things we've learned, which to be honest with you, I'm thinking on maybe even creating a couple of YouTube videos myself about some of the vintage stuff and things. I think what everyone's learned, regardless of your track surface or whatever you're racing on, is just trying to make the cars last like they do, like the modern cars do. Like,
Right.
obviously we learned a lot about the ball cups popping off and things of that nature. And,
Don't hit shit. They don't pop off.
right. But we hit all the things,
Yeah,
And
we
so, I mean, you got to find those limits. And I mean,
Yes.
it's funny. I think on day 1, I'm pretty sure I went out there and I don't even think I emptied a whole pack without breaking my 2-wheel at least 4 times.
Yeah. Wow.
So I'm no better than anybody else.
Yeah.
trust me.
I tore my truck. I don't think I put a part on it in like probably 10 races. And
Yeah.
I centered that pole once and it was donezo.
Yeah, it's just about finding the limits. But I mean, at the end of the day, though, I think like, going back to the event, Lindsay, my wife has been with me to several events, and one of the things she noticed is just how different this felt.
Yes.
It was just such a different vibe. Like everyone was stoked to be there.
Yeah.
Like everyone was, and it was just cool. Like everyone, like just day 1 walking through the pits and seeing all like these double XTs, and I saw a lot of junior T's out there that was super cool. And then to me, like by far the coolest was watching the plastic Tamaya class getting around out there. And I mean, Jason Bollinger, my guy, dude, he had like the drag slicks in the back of his original grasshopper, and that thing was just like going everywhere, and he was having a time up there. And it was just such, I mean, again, it was just such a good vibe the whole time, and we were having fun. Dude, it was just great, and then,
Do you think this is what RC needs?
I think I think it's very different. And I actually had a long thought today. I had a busy work day, but I try to find times to separate my work with and then have some joyous thoughts. And so I was thinking about this vintage race stuff. And I do think that you guys have the hold of something beautiful right now. And I feel like it's in a good window to keep it going. I don't know, like, I think, for instance, like I kind of loosely thought about like, this big race, the Clash. Like, I don't know that it obviously trying to get all the pros together or the ex world champions and all these guys together all the time is impossible. But something like a world championship, like the Worlds has every other year or
Yeah.
something to that effect,
That's what I'm
would
thinking. I'm thinking every 2 to 3.
yeah, I
And
mean, I think something like that. And I think that like carrying something to the vibe throughout the year. I don't think like I know you and I have loosely talked about
yep.
maybe doing a Phil Hurd race, which is a legendary outdoor racetrack. I
We got
think
to get outdoors soon.
I
Very
think
soon.
Jimmy really enjoyed his time at this event
Yep.
and really felt the vibes and what you guys are doing. And so even trying to get something at Hot Rod, which is equally a legendary track, you
Yeah.
know?
If I could go back and show you all my PMs back and forth, because Jimmy and I have known each other for a long, long time, right?
Yeah.
If I could go back and show you all my messages, and he wants to do something.
Yeah.
It's just, the thing is I think I saw it. I think we had as many people from California as we did anywhere at this race.
Yeah. And I know a lot of guys,
Never
because
seen that
again,
before.
when I was in California, I had a lot of guys that I used to race vintage with out there messaging me. I mean, and that's even a side thing. The amount of love and outreach people have given to me since this event and even at the event was overwhelming. I mean, it was awesome. I mean, I had a lot of people reach out or talk to me at the event about Al and I being on this with you guys ahead of time and said that how much that connected with them, how relatable
Yep.
our stories were, um, and that was just awesome to be able to, and again, I've been in this hobby since I was 9 years old. I'm 43 now, and
Yep.
it's like I've given a lot to this. And then kind of the unfortunate thing for me, because we all have our own measuring sticks. And for me, I've never really done anything at a Paramount in the hobby. I mean, I've hung around the biggest names there is. I mean, I've raced Greg back in the day. Like I literally like right after the Roar Nationals where he won with the X Factory 4-wheel, I raced him at the Hot Rod Shootout, and I remember I was in 4-wheel mod with him, and in one round I out qualified him. I
Right.
did crap the rest of the time, but still, like I've been with these guys and have raced with them, but circumstances, I mean, kids, no money, travel, whatever. I don't know. I mean, it's never been able to commit the time that it takes to be a top guy. So it is fun for me. Really, all my want is just to earn the respect of my peers.
Well, you know what? You have done that. And I can tell you this, at the next one of these we do, you do have an invite to the Legends class. I'm going to
Thank you. I
announce that right
appreciate that.
now. And if somebody don't like it, yeah, that's what I got to say. You
It is
have,
like
and we got something really. You weren't on at first, but you were probably listening. We've got something very, very special coming up for the Legends that we're working on in the background that did attend the event, and we're going to be starting something really, really special on Old School RC for those Legends that Jason and I have been talking about.
nice.
And Drew's in the loop, and we need to bring everybody else to the loop. It's just been, man, I've struggled all week I almost, I was feeling bad because working all day, work 12 hours a day. And I'm just like, Jesus, can I do this tonight?
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, that's the fun thing about us old school racers is we have real lives.
right.
I had to work at a veterinarian office today moving surgery lights to different tables. They had about 250 pounds of steel structure up above the ceilings holding the damn lights in place that we had to move. So that was a lot of fun.
Oh, I can imagine how great that was.
Oh
yeah. I've pushed through. The thing with me is I'm around a bunch of college kids all day and I can't be out. I didn't know what the hell this was. When I found out, it was definitely contagious. And
yeah,
they
call it the HIV.
The HIV. What do we call it? The Dirk. What did he end up naming it? The
Dirkademic.
Dirkademic. Yeah. Oh my goodness, the Dirkademic. But I've been having, a lot of people have reached out and are sick, and
yeah.
Here's the deal. You go into these races, you spend a lot of time there. You don't drink the water you need to drink. You don't eat the food you need to drink.
Yeah.
You're up probably 4 to 5 hours later every night than you're normally up, getting 4 to 5 hours of sleep at the max if you're lucky.
Yeah.
And it just breaks your body down. And then you got all the stuff from the track and the different things, and you're there 5 days. And what's up, Michael? Michael, I did find out it's your baby, by the way, just so you know. It's not yours, Chris, so you're off the hook.
Nice.
All jokes aside, we can joke like that because we love each other.
But yeah, event wise though, I mean,
What would you have changed? What would you have done differently?
you know, the only thing I would say that I would maybe do, and this would just be for overall event, maybe closeness or whatever else race wise, is I think this that these older cars with their gear ratios, they're meant to get a brushed motor up and going, not a brushless. And I mean, you put these brushless motors in there, these cars, and they rip.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, I know Al's told me several times. I think he had like a 13.5 in his wheeler, and it
yeah,
felt faster than his 7.5 in his B7.
yeah. The gear ratios with these motors, and you were kind of alluding to it earlier when you put 13.5s in these trucks. If
Oh
you
yeah,
have them axles lined up just perfectly, it's going to shear them.
yeah. I mean, they're just so fast. I mean, they've
Right.
got so much rip, and I mean, it's just, and I mean, again, with all the rear end grip, it's not like there's any wheel spin. It's just going, you know. And
They're
so,
hooking.
the only thing I would say is maybe for like to take everything a down a step, you know, and that would maybe just help with, you know, cars going as fast and
You
smashing
think
anything.
slowing down? You think?
I think 21.5 classic buggy. I think 17.5 in truck, and all that's going to do is just tighten up the racing. You know, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just going to make it that, you know, you're just getting race lines down. I mean, you know, you're not trying to harness
Everybody's
the
already
power
mad
so
at me
much.
because I
What's that?
updated. I'm sorry. Everybody's already mad at me because I updated the truck to 13.5 just because I just don't feel a 17.5 in those trucks on that track would have been enough.
There was
Just
nothing to clear. I mean,
yeah. Well,
honestly,
that's
all there
true. The
was
flow of it.
that
You're right.
tabletop in the
Yeah.
back. But I mean, I was just bit a little blip, and my trucks launched that tabletop. You know, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I got it wrong. We've seen at several tracks. You know, that's the thing. Depending on the track, like Mimi's, the trucks needed a 13.5 bad. You know, at
yeah.
the race we did there.
Sure. Yeah,
You're
if
you're
there's
probably
like
right.
if there's big jumps that you got to clear, which I mean, let's just give Eddie his flowers,
Oh
man. I
my
mean, dude,
God.
that guy put in the coolest layout. I mean, there wasn't a guy I talked to the whole weekend that didn't thoroughly enjoy it's just like little it's like visually stimulating driving it because the racing lines
My God.
just flow so nice and they make sense and everything just goes and I mean and then racing, I mean, there's plenty of passing opportunities
Oh
out there with
yes.
the racing lines and everything. I mean, I you know, and Eddie says it himself, but I say it too. It's like, God, every time I go to his track, I'm like, oh man, this is the best layout.
Yeah.
Damn it,
Right.
Eddie, now this is the best layout. Damn it, Eddie, now this is the best layout. It's like,
Yeah.
come on, Eddie, you know, I mean, like, and
Dude.
he just sticks true to what he does. He doesn't do anything ridiculous. Does he just
Yep.
has, and the main thing out of all of it, it's not even like the jumps. Those are just like, you know, little sprinkles on the top, but the layout, the racing lines that he puts in, awesome. It's just so
Unbelievable,
fun to
right?
drive. Yeah.
It
And for
was.
the vintage cars, I mean, regardless of, I know there's a lot of chatter about too much grip or whatever. I think that everyone had a handle on the grip. I
Yep.
think that the racing line led to pure enjoyment from everybody. I drove a plastics car out there with the original 1986 tires on it, and I was able to get around on there
Yeah.
perfectly fine. I mean, it was just honestly just enjoyable. It was super
Yeah.
fun for whatever you were driving out there. It was awesome, you know?
Hands down the best vintage flowing track I've ever raced on. Right.
Yeah.
There was enough jumps, enough stuff to make it fun.
Yeah.
I love the steps coming down. I mean, it was a true vintage style 90s, late 80s,
Yeah.
mid 90s track. It was
Yeah.
amazing. And then having grip, man.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's a little different probably than what we're used to driving them on. But holy cow, he
Yeah.
truly did. I mean, he should probably win some kind of award for that track
He should, right? Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean, again, I think it's great. I mean, I think, like I said, I think that the way that this one was put together, I think it would be cool if you guys found some way to do like a JConcepts INS vintage style deal. I think that would be a lot of fun for people, you know?
here's what I want to do if we're talking about vintage now,
Yeah.
and talking about where it's going and what it should be. I think what would be super ass cool is we race on every type of surface there is. We
Yeah.
pick a different track, and I'm talking carpet too.
Yeah, I was
I
just saying
really do.
there's plenty like You could come down to Beachline. Beachline's nice. People
Yep.
love to go down there. Old timers, you know, we're all old vintage guys.
Yep.
Cocoa Beach, you know.
Yeah. We also
I
got
mean-
the Carolina track, but the that the Schimmel's on that I would love
Yep,
to go.
Island or whatever. Yeah, for sure.
You know, that's in a great spot as well, close to the beach.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah, I think it would be fun. And then if you guys did, like, if you wanted to make it this huge build up for the Vintage Clash 2.0, you know,
Yeah.
by yearly or however long you want to make. I just feel like with Team Associated, especially pumping out a lot of vintage stuff right
Yeah.
now, and you've got a lot of these other smaller businesses that have now popped up to help, you know, especially on the Losi side. I mean, listen, I grew up running Losi. I love Losi as much as anything else. You know, I've got double X TCRs and all that stuff still sitting in my garage, you know, and I would love to run those too. So it's nice to see that these small businesses are getting it going. And I
Yeah.
do think that, you know, even off like again, I'm always on eBay. I mean, stuff B3s, B2s, all that stuff was flying off of eBay all last month. People were buying them up.
Oh yeah.
Like it was crazy. So
Yeah.
I feel like the market's kind of going, and I feel like a lot of people are buying are really getting into it. And I feel like if we offered something a little more, or even like, you know, when I was in California, I was trying to get like the JBRL to buy into doing a vintage series or something to that effect.
Yeah.
So some of these towns, if we can keep the vibe going, you know, I mean,
That's
more
what
or
we
less
need, dude.
the basic of just even
Yeah.
just two wheel, vintage two wheel.
Two wheel and start
You
with
know?
two wheel and a truck class, right?
Yeah, and I mean, like,
There's plenty of them out there.
sure,
Just do it. Listen up, local tracks. Listen, just take the rules we used in this race. Start out with those. Start you a two-wheel drive classic class. All right. Start you a stadium truck class. Leave it open for rear motors to start. And as you get more entries, you can narrow it down. But this is what we need. We need the RC community, the people that have the tracks. We did the same thing. I mean, when we first started Extreme RC Raceway, right? You remember that? We were running on carpet. We were doing it every 2 weeks. You know, we started with probably 5 vintage cars. That built to almost 3 classes of vintage cars and 2 classes of stadium trucks by the time that track shut down. And the track just shut down because the rent, not the rent, but they sold the place and they decided they didn't want the RC racing there anymore. So, I mean, this is what we need. Jesse, all you guys that are into vintage, push your local tracks.
Yeah, and I know Jesse pushes it out there, and it's just hard to get a group together. But I think it's just more or less like sharing the narrative. Like, you know, I've blessed enough to be able to travel around with a lot of AE's top drivers, and I know that to them, when you run 2-wheel drive, that is the business class.
Right.
You are serious. We are focused on that. Once that's straight, it's 4-wheel.
Yeah.
And then that's it, you know, and those are the business classes. That's what you run. And, you know, admittedly, since I had moved to Georgia, I really dove into trying to race more with my new career. I've been afforded to be able to go to more races and do that. So I've dove into that. But like when I started racing, when I was running the World's Car in California, when I lived there, dude, there was no pressure. You just showed up with this thing that, like, at the time, everyone looked at like a toy. It's like, oh, look at that cute old car, you know? And then you go out there and it just smashes on everyone. And they're like, hey, nah, you cut the track, or you got a cheater motor in there, or, you know, and then once you realize like how fun they are to drive, it's just like, oh man, this is just a blast, you know? And it kind of almost like takes the pressure off. You walk up on the stand with a completely different mentality. You're just like, oh, like this thing's fun. And then like I kind of said over the weekend too, like anyone that drives one, it's almost like, you know, your battle stories. Like, oh my God, guess what? I had to do this to it to make it survive, and I had to do this, and then we had to make this work. And man, they don't have a spur gear like this, so I had to get this from this over here to make this work. And so it takes like a modeler's or a hobbyist mentality to fine tune and really dig into the car to get it. So it almost is like building a hot rod per se. It's like, yeah, anyone can go buy a Z06 right off the parking lot and go up to like a, you know, Octane and Coffee car show. But a guy that's like got a 63 Corvette that's got all these custom things done, that's what it's like having a vintage car, because you've got all these cool little tricks done to it, all these little things that the average person isn't going to know. I mean, like, I think I actually tried to talk to Curtis over that race. I was telling him like, man, like, and even Jay, I was like, God, I had a classic RC10, and it was my first real six gear going through, and that thing was trashed. It was so bad. Like it was like, and I was like, God, and
Yeah.
I started looking at it, and I had to hand file down
Yeah.
every tooth
Yeah.
on the diff out drives because that's
Yeah.
where the gears are in the 60.
Yeah.
You have to file all of them down. I mean, I spent 2.5 hours massaging out this transmission, getting all the bearings right, doing all of it just to get it all spin free. And it's just like feeling of like accomplishment. You're like, oh my God, look at this old car, and it works so good now, and it's just like it just flows around and sounds smooth. And so again, I think that that's more or less the different side. I think that we live now like in more of like a instant gratification where
Right.
you get a B7, you build the thing. I think
Yeah.
Al made the joke is like, yeah, you just get the box, you shake it up, it falls out, you throw it on the track, and you can TQ. I mean,
That's
like,
funny. Yeah, it's funny when you see all the comments, all these people getting these kits about how bad they are. And I'm just
yeah.
like, oh my God, people.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
mean,
we
we're
always
spoiled. I
have
mean, they
real
really have.
and they're designed for that.
Yeah, I mean, they've come a long way, and I mean, to get them to the quality and to the level. I mean, like, dude, my B3, I spent so much time on the transmission on that thing. You could literally blow on the spur gear, and the
Yep.
thing would spin.
Yep.
Just little tips and tricks of working on stuff. I mean, I don't even know if you can. One of our top stock drivers taught me breaking in the transmission with toothpaste.
Yep.
Sat there for 2 hours running the transmission with toothpaste in it, forward and back, getting it all broken in,
Yep.
clean it all out, clean the bearings, and all of a
Yep.
sudden spins for days.
I don't need
So
that. I've got a top secret lube that I use for mine.
I don't want to know about your top secret lube.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, that udder butter, man, you put it in there and add a little beep of the new moose lick for bearings.
You need some udder butter on the end of that fingertips, which you need.
I do, man. I do need a little butter on that sucker.
They need some Vaseline or
So
something.
my buddy Mark Camling made me a little he was at North Carolina with me. He made me a little finger with a Band-Aid on it.
Yeah.
It's so cute.
It's precious.
But I think, I think we all need to push to continue building vintage racing.
Yeah.
I would love to have 100 events a year, but it's hard. We're going to have to, when I was talking to different people, they're like, maybe we need to focus on it at a regional level, right?
Yeah.
You need to focus on the Georgia area. I need to focus on the Tennessee area. And we all.
Well, the hard part is that 10 scale racing in the East is trash. My closest track is Hoosier. 6 hours.
Wow.
That's my
Really?
closest sense. Yeah, I don't have any other tracks I can go run.
What
Now,
about Sean's track?
yeah, but that's Sean. I mean, like Sean's, I can go run. I mean, it's fun to go if you got some buddies you want to go.
Cool vintage hangouts there, though. I mean, I'm sure Sean will be down.
No, he would be, but the problem is that track it's got big peaky jumps and it's tough on new cars.
Okay.
Now, no disrespect to his track at all. It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun running a new car on it. A vintage car, I don't know.
Yeah.
It might be tough.
I think we got to figure out, kind of, ideally what I would love to see is like 4 races a year. And then every 2 years we have one big race, wherever it may be. Does that rotate? Is it always at Hoosier?
Yeah.
And then, the year that you don't have a big race, do you have another spot? I know that Hoosier will likely continue regardless of what we do. The Dunbar Cup will be likely be ran every single year around this time. I can't confirm that for sure. I know that Eddie and them were talking about it. I know we would definitely like to continue doing something for Dunbar for sure.
Yeah.
And I know that Eddie and Ansley have the facilities to do it. Maybe getting, a 2-wheel drive classic class and maybe a stadium truck added to some of these big events, where people.
The hard part, and I feel like if we've got the notice and if we try, like you guys obviously have found through these videos of the hype videos of getting things built up. Like I know you and I loosely tried to get the Georgia State race.
Yeah.
To get some attendance last year, and not see any real avail, but stuff like that. Like, I mean, Phil Hurd is an amazing facility. It's beautiful. It's in a beautiful park. I mean, to go race there,
Yeah.
it is my favorite track in Georgia to go to. It's just such a relaxing environment. It's nice. And plus, it's in Savannah, so who doesn't want to go to Savannah? You're
Right.
not too
Yeah.
far from Tybee Island, and so it's beautiful.
How
And
were
a
the
lot of
disc
history. The
golf?
94, if you pull up, as me, fan of all the Husting videos, you could pull up the 94 Roar Nationals, and they were there at Phil Hurd, and you can watch that. Steve Dunn's out there battling, and it's some classic old stuff, and so the track's still the same place, and it's just cool, so I think getting something there would be awesome, and a good outdoor race. I feel like I know the word has been kind of thrown around. The vintage community wants to do more of like a hang as to suppose a race or something to that
Yeah.
effect, and I get that, and I feel like, you know the Clash race definitely had the vibe of the hang for sure.
Yeah.
And then, and we did have. I feel like, there was some competitive classes, and then there was some just we're having a good time class. And I feel like, definitely the legends showed out. Whereas like I know, like, just being around and talking to some of them, they're like, oh, this is fun, and then the first race happens, and they're like, all right, we need to work on my car a little bit. And then, I'm like, then all of a sudden it starts picking up and picking up. And so, it was fun seeing them getting more and more competitive with each other,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it is kind of fun because, again, I've been lucky enough to spend some time with these guys throughout the year. But one of the ones that I haven't got to spend a lot of time with, which I did off track, was Matt Francis.
Yeah.
Obviously, to me, in my mind, the 95 Worlds is always a top, with Matt winning two wheel and Mark
Yeah.
winning four-wheel drive, and so I was a bummer Mark wasn't able to make it on this trip. I would love to be able to race on the track with them. I have loosely through 8 scale throughout the years, but I would love to have had some more
I
time
think
with
that
him,
present itself, sir.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
think
Mark and Matt are just iconic. And I mean, God, you look at Matt, like, the guy picked up a radio and was
he's
just like, just cruising,
I was watching some of the video when he was just out there cruising around, dude.
Yeah.
And I think I posted it, or I will. The one where he's just out there and his lines are just so perfect and smooth, and
Yeah.
it's wow. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you this, Matt Francis, man, thank you. I want to thank all the legends before we get off, but I mean, he showed up. I think he come to every single event that we did, and he wasn't the only one. There were several that did as well. But I think Disco Dean was at most of them too. A lot didn't show up to the Eustace. Jay was there. Matt was there at the Top Golf thing. But
Yeah.
Matt was,
Matt,
I turned around and Matt was there, dude. Every
he
single thing we
was.
did.
And it
He
was
showed
the
up for the
randomest thing.
farewell
Like,
dinner.
I ended up getting paired up with Matt. We started, me and Jose and Matt, we all got kind of paired up hitting together, and it was cool. Like,
Yeah,
it was
right.
kind of fun because, like, I
Yeah.
mean, to be perfectly honest with you, I hadn't swung a club in like 9 months or something like that. So I was like, oh, I don't know. And these dudes, like, most of these guys are just good at everything, and so,
Yes. Yes.
Jose and Matt were just stroking him, and I was like, all right.
Yeah.
I just was like, all right, yeah, I could play. I was like, let me step in there, and I had a couple little mulligans, and then we were off for the races, and so it was kind of fun, and like I said, it's kind of fun to gain these dudes respect. Like, Matt and I were doing like a long drive for a minute, and I was able to smack the back fence before he could get there, and he was
No
kind
shit.
of dabbed me up on that, and it's just like I said, to me, like, these guys are cool. To have their respect is just means more than anything. So it's just kind of neat, them being the legends that they are. And
Right.
and so at that moment with Matt was really cool, so I was able to spend some time with him,
Yeah.
and time I won't forget. That was pretty cool. So
Yeah. Yeah. It
yeah,
was awesome. Are you
yeah.
trying to look like me or something?
Dude, it's been a rough week, brother.
Yeah, I know. Damn.
Our whole house is in I know some people heard we had that house fire in January,
Yeah.
and they just now are getting to fixing it. So, like, my
I'm
whole
not
house
laughing at you.
is
I was laughing at
tore
Drew's
up.
card.
So they're supposed to be done Friday, but it's
Don't you
been
know somebody?
yeah. Well, I am the somebody, but today I had to
Right.
work at a damn veterinarian office for
Right.
9.5
Hi, Drew. What's up,
hours.
my man? Glad you joined. Drew, you're here now. I can't thank you enough for everything you did. the comments and the outpour and everything are just coming in, man. We as a team knocked this shit out of the park. So I can't thank you enough. And
Drew's the man.
he really is the man. He did so much, because I work a full-time job, and I was stretched, man. There wasn't many nights that I had time. I wasn't doing a live cast or doing a waffle there wasn't many nights I wasn't freaking online. And when we weren't, we were working with legends and working behind the scenes, trying to get that stuff solidified. But Drew is the one that really kept us organized, kept us on task to raise enough money to pull all this off. And, then we had Kirby doing all the graphics. This graphics that we're looking at right now, Kirby just freaking knocked it out of the park. And I don't think that Kirby's got enough. Everybody keeps saying Drew and Dirk. But, Kirby had a huge part in all this. And I want to make sure he gets his dues because he did a hell of a lot of stuff to providing cars, dude, providing other things, continuing to get his business. But I just want to make sure that everybody understands that.
I think Kirby owns RC Car Heaven.
I think he does.
I feel like if you were to die and you wanted to go to RC Car Heaven, you would just show up in one of his steel buildings.
I've never heard that before, but I love it.
That would be the spot. And then Kirby would be opening the door for you and it would be awesome.
He would be like, oh, that is pretty cool. And his overalls.
In his overalls, exactly.
I would, if I go, that's the way I want to go. I want to go.
And then whatever your dream car is, he'd have one in his hand to hold to you. And then as you walk past, he'd have a new one in the box.
Yeah. You don't need to make me laugh, dude, because that makes the phlegm come up.
Yeah.
You're right, Kirby, RC Heaven.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, we couldn't have asked for a better team to do all this, man. And I know you and I, oh my God, I think all the years you and I have been giving each other shit and to finally get to be in an event together.
Well, even Dwayne, God, like Dwayne and I have talked crap, that handsome salt and peppered old man that he is,
Yeah.
God, thinks he's a painter and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Finally shows up and
he paints
the guy's
better than races.
He's such a good painter. The guy's doing such a good job. It was cool to meet so many nice people. I mean, honestly, everybody was so cool. All these characters that we've talked to online for all these years, and it was fun to be able to be in front of everyone and lots of fun conversations. I actually, I don't know if you knew that or remember that, but I had the privilege of Jay Halsey pit right in front of me the whole weekend.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was cool. We had a couple of open, and again, he's there, everyone's excited to see him. And for me, it's like I've been around, like Babcock was my neighbor for years, and I've been around a lot of people coming in, and so I kind of learned over the years, I always try to find a separate ground because everyone wants RC from them. RC. And it was kind of fun, with Jay, him and I had a couple of conversations with Lindsay and I, and we talked and candidly about his stuff. And I mean, the guy's just so cool. He's got so many cool stories and, the life that he's lived and, the experience that he's earned is just awesome to hear him talk about all of it. And so
you want to know what's funny is, I think Jay barely remembers me from back in the day. And it took a lot for Jay to truly reconnect with me.
Sure.
And we have become so close through this, dude. There's not many mornings and afternoons that Jay and I don't talk now. Right.
That's awesome.
We have become so close. Probably it's crazy. There'll be mornings that I have Eustace calling me or Jay calling me or Matt calling me or but it's awesome that I lost you, Chris. Hopefully his phone didn't go dead. Where'd you go, Chris? He fell off the earth. But why Chris is off the air, I want to continue. Oh, there he is. But we've become really close, and it's been an amazing experience. And I'm so glad, Drew. Drew's been in the industry probably only 8-9 years. So him getting the opportunity to meet a lot of these the legends as well, and the Dunbar piece to all that, man. He played such a big part in all that.
Yeah.
But it's been an amazing experience, and I don't want to stop it, and we're not going to stop these friendships. Gabe Boudreau.
Yeah.
I remember Gabe. I specifically remember Gabe's name from back when I raced.
Oh yeah.
And
I remember him from the guy that did the cartwheels around the 97 Worlds track.
right, the old Dare.
Yeah.
We are going to have Gabe on because Gabe we're going to have all the legends back on, just so everybody knows, because we got something special we're going to be doing for him that we're working on behind the scenes. But Gabe, man, it was such a pleasure to see him and spend time with him.
I got to race with Gabe once. So he probably doesn't remember me, but he came to Hot Rod for the Reedy truck race one year. And I don't know if you've ever heard of him. His name's Joel Eaton. His family owns a track up in Utah. Yep. Really good dude, phenomenal body painter. He came down.
Real bodies or RC bodies?
RC.
I need a body painter.
Yeah, but he's low key. I got him to paint me a set of bodies one time, and that was
We're talking about different kind of bodies now.
But so anyway, he came down and proceeded to dominate all the open classes. Stock truck, 19 turn truck, open mod. And Gabe Boudreau was there. Well, this guy that paints cool bodies showed up with a rattle can orange body. And so I remember I was in the shop main morning and Gabe was in there and he had the main sheet of all the mains because he had made, I think Gabe had made one or two of the mains, and he had the main sheet and it was in the shop buying bodies for everyone for their cars, and he was going to paint them all orange so that everyone had an orange body on their car to try and mess them up.
Mess the other dude up?
Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, this guy is crazy. So I just remember that. I thought it was funny. I was just like, dude. So Joel Eaton proceeded to go on and spank everybody, and the rest was history there, but was still pretty cool.
Drew, I heard the same thing, that he kept everybody up watching videos all night. One of the things that I'm going to be honest, I wish I wouldn't have raced, but my wife said, if you don't race, you're going to regret it. I do regret not racing the Rubrix car. I should have pushed through and figured out a way, because I think we could have, in all honesty, I think we could have had a top 3 finishes out of his cars.
Yeah.
If we took Adam out.
Yeah, Adam was on it, man. God, Adam was on it.
Oh my God, he was fast. But I think we could have, and I regret. And then I regret, man, I just feel like I didn't get enough time with everybody. And I don't know. I think back and I try to think about what I could have done differently, but I was damn near running the whole time.
Yeah. It's tough. I mean, it's almost like is weird as to say. It's like my wife was a wedding planner, and we always say it to everyone. It's like being at a wedding on your wedding day. God, there's so many people you want to be around and see and talk to, but yet you got to do the things you got to do. And it's just, before you know, it's like, it's just, so it's just in those times, it's like, you almost just got to kind of take a moment and look around and just take it in for a second,
Yeah. I think the next one I won't race. I want to be the pit interview guy.
There you go.
Everybody. Yeah. Spending time with everybody. Man, the legends had such a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was inspiring. Like I said, I knew once they got there and the juices started flowing again, they were going to get right back into it. And that's where I think it was cool, because even Eddie said it a couple of times, man, there was a couple of races that ended and the pits were just buzzing. Everyone was buzzing about this pass that happened or that battle that happened. And then they're all back in the pits and they're all buzzing, and they're having fun. And so, it was just like good vibes.
When's the last time you saw people standing on the walls cheering at an RC?
Yeah, I know.
Seriously, when's the last time you seen
that? Again, a lot of the big ones will get it. But like I said, this was just like no other, though. Like, when's the last time you've been able to stand on the wall and watch Matt Francis, Matt Ledger, Gabe Boudreau, Greg Hodap, Jason Rona, Jimmy Babcock? All these dudes that we all watched these videos for years running.
Right.
It's I have more of a relationship and have known Jimmy for years, but I told you guys ahead of time, I knew I watched the second he put that car on the track. I knew his second lap in, he was already running good. And
Yeah.
it's just these guys,
And
they just have, I know like Brent Filkey calls it this, they call it the it.
yeah,
And these dudes just have an it,
yeah.
you know, and it's just, I don't know that it's translated fully through today, but back then, like these dudes would just get it and they can just pick up a radio and go, you know.
All right. 5 more minutes. We're going to talk about two things. One, what do you want in RC? I mean, do you want to compete in the worlds? What are your goals right now?
Man, you know, if I were being absolutely realistic with you, I would love to loosely have a part in team associated, being some sort of a manager to help out with
Right.
young
Yeah,
drivers.
I agree.
My time is coming past. I'm not here to compete for anything. I have a life. I've got a business. I've got 2 kids. I got a
Yeah.
wife. I want to travel. We
Yeah.
already talk about how much money I do spend to try to chase this ridiculous passion that we have. You know, I think,
Maverick Briggs in the house.
I think that, my goals again, I just, as dumb as it sounds, like I just want the respect of my peers. I know that I've had different times that I've been fast, but just having the guys respect that I am like one of the dudes or whatever, it just, that's what means more to me, or at least, like for instance, like Al, like, I feel like I have the respect of Al, but to be perfectly honest, it's like I kind of want to sorry if he's watching, I kind of want to beat him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it's one of
Yeah.
those things like,
I mean,
and I hate to say that too. It's like with
we beat him this weekend.
well, yes. I mean, in the one class, I feel like beating him in mono a mono, like if we could have raced our vintage B3s together, he probably would have kicked my tail. But
I wonder what the
I
times are. I want to go back and look at the times and see who had the fastest time. I
he
think
was, listen, I pay attention to all of it. He was faster. And I know he
Was
knows he would have had me for sure.
but
But
you had a 17.5 in your car too.
yeah, but still,
Yeah.
But I mean, like, again, like he's one that God, and I know he gets it. The same with Dunbar, unfortunately. Like, God, he was one of them guys. Like, I
Yeah.
wanted to beat him.
Yeah.
Still
He
want
was
to beat
so
him.
hard to beat.
Bless him, but still, like,
Yeah.
it was just, but it's just like when you see those guys, that's how you get their respect, is if you can beat them,
Okay.
and it's like, as a competitor, it's just one of those things. But then you enjoy that process from them. It's like me wanting to beat you made me better, and so I'll never forget you because of that, and that's
Right.
what's like, that's where those types of things,
Right.
where people can't stand losing these days. It's like, yeah, but like I heard Al say that, God, I was so tired of coming in second behind Dunbar, so tired. But then
Yeah.
the day you finally surpass that, it means like so much more that you finally were able to do that. So, but yeah, in the last 5 minutes, for me, like I said, I just kind of want to enjoy this hobby. I like promoting it. I love sharing the knowledge that I have. I honestly rather help someone else at the track and see them be successful
Okay.
than myself. I get
All right.
more joy out of that. To be honest with you, Dirk, I wouldn't mind running a less or two class and helping you have your program 100%, making sure your car is driving well and seeing you have a fulfilling time on the track and not struggling and just worrying about driving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just stuff
I,
like that. Like,
you
to me,
know,
like, because I know how much you love this community and I know how much you
yeah.
love doing it. And you don't want to be not finishing. You want to be able to finish your runs
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
just stuff like that. To me, like, I would get more fulfillment out of that than running or something to
That
that
means a
effect.
lot. I don't, I want to keep racing, but I don't, I want to race again.
Yeah.
I think, and I'm trying to decide if I want to race Monard. I'm sitting here looking. It's like I said, there's like 6 months, 6 months before we have another event. I don't want anybody to forget about the Vintage Off-Road Nationals coming up the first weekend in September, guys. It's going to be at Adrenaline RC. Check it out. This is Eric's 18th year. I would love if every single person listening, watching, goes out and supports that event, right? Please. I hear it, that everybody that raced last year at Adrenaline just loved it. I really would love to see, and I have a lot of racers tell me if they had to pick one race a year, where would they go? It would be Vonats, and there's a lot of people like that. So, second thing I wanted to ask you is, do you think this will go down in the history of one of the best RC events ever?
I think so, without a doubt. I mean, I think it made such a huge impact. I think it's definitely, I don't know that any other kind of a race could replicate it, just because of more or less the ideologies behind the race, of the vintage cars, of more or less the build you're focusing on. And then, yes, you are racing, but it's with a different mindset, you know? Um, and then I think everyone's got their own unique takes on their cars. Again, I think that there's just a lot of differences there. But yeah, I think it was truly an iconic race. I think that people are still buzzing about it. You don't really get that often.
Yeah.
And, that's why I would like to see you guys keep the candle lit, don't let it go out completely for too many years. I think that if we got something still buzzing, I think that keeping the vintage stuff going and keeping it, in the limelight, or finding some way to incorporate it, who knows, maybe even incorporating in with, because I think he did do it. I think Jason did it in the INS
Well,
series.
here's the deal, Jason. I don't want to go into that right now, but Jason
Yes.
and Jason, we have that relationship, and we talk, and
Sure.
and maybe, and you might be one that can help with that. Maybe I think incorporating it, maybe.
Yeah.
Or is there another series? I don't think there's room for a whole nother series. But if we take these races that are significant, like the one that happens oh my goodness, sometimes I have trouble recalling names, but the one we do in North Carolina with
Yeah. The
Moto Obscuro.
Yeah, the one at Thunder Alley or Thunder.
Yes, one at Thunder Alley. We've got Vonats already. We've got this Dunbar Cup. That's at least 3, right?
Yep.
I would like to continue maybe something at Mimi's. She's a very awesome person. And then maybe there's one big race a year, and maybe that big race rotates to the different tracks. You know what I'm saying? Definitely got to get one outdoors. My dream is to have one at Lake Park again in Florida, where I grew up racing nationals and different events, right?
Yeah.
I see they're trying to revive that track. I think a race like this could help lift it up and bring it back to life. I definitely want to see one on carpet. I know people think I'm freaking crazy, but
No.
I'm telling you.
I grew up. My first track I ever went on was Carpet
Yeah.
Stadium.
Yeah. It's such a fun feel to drive these vintage cars on carpet.
Oh, yeah.
But I get it. But don't knock it till you try it. It's what I tell people. They didn't like the high bite, but I get they love it now.
I mean, think about most of the RC10s that you find gold pans looks like somebody used them as a roller skate. That's because they went up and down their street 982,000 times, and they weren't on a loose dirt track throwing roosts. They were just going up and down the street. So
yes. All right. So we got 6 minutes left. I want to do this. Thank you so much for joining me, dude. I hope you know what you mean to me. We've always been close. It's good to finally get to start hanging out, right? A little bit.
Yeah.
I thought it would be a lot more, but as soon as you moved here, I moved to freaking Texas last time.
I know.
But I ain't going nowhere. I'm not going anywhere this time. I'm staying right here.
I'm telling you, I know you said no, but you need to come run some 8 scale with me.
You know what's funny? When you said that this morning, my 8 scale picture popped up from when I was at P&B a few years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. My first 8 scale race I ever picked a race was at P&B.
Yeah, that's probably was your mistake.
Yeah, that was stupid. But
that was stupid.
All my buddies are still racing, Repo. Yeah.
All you need is an e-buggy and an e-truggy.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you,
I don't know. I don't want
I'll build it for
what
you.
You were saying earlier is I don't want it to take over my every weekend, because I used to travel every single weekend and race, right?
Sure.
I don't want it to I want my wife to be able to enjoy some time too. But I want to take a moment to truly thank our sponsors. So I was kind of doing that earlier. We talked about JC Racing. We had Schumacher. I can't thank Mike Wanders enough for their support for the event. We already talked about Eustace MIP. Jose Zayas was a surprise guest on the Cow RC show last night with me. Thank you, Jose. I mean, Jose, man, I've only known him for a year and a half, and I love the dude. He is so good for this hobby. Yeah,
that was the first time I got to meet him. He was a pretty cool guy. We got to spend some time out, and super, super nice guy, and enjoyed being around him.
Yeah, I'm glad you taught him a lesson though, and shown him he ain't the fastest in vintage.
Oh,
Hear
I
that,
know.
Jose? I hope you're listening.
Yeah,
Um,
every dog's out their day, and that was just my weekend. So
Yeah.
you know.
Hot Rod Hobbies, Jimmy, I love you, brother. Nobody else I would have rather had calling this race than you. I know we didn't get to spend a lot of time together, but you know you're my boy, Blue. Team Associated, we talked about. Kyosho, wow. Kyosho stepped up big time too. I know they had a lot with Joel being there as well. Moto Obscuro, thank you. The little, the people that are coming up, Dragon Punch RC, Daniel, Eddie's Crazy Bearings, Crazy Eddie, Boom Graphics. We haven't talked about Boom a lot, but Boom did all the trophies. Of course, Cal RC did the pit mats, but Boom did like the original graphics, the flyers, all that stuff. Sky RC, Tekin come at the last minute, really helped. We had some cool Tekin gear to give away. I ran Tekin again for the first time in a long time this weekend in my truck. I'm running a Tekin in all my non-associated automobiles right now. And man, they have come a long way with the braking and the different setups they have in those ESCs now. I was very, very impressed with how my truck felt. One Up RC, Rubik's Racing. Oh my God, Rubik's had such a good show. Ruben, the man. And
Such a nice
congrats
guy.
on your win with that car. That was huge.
Yep.
I had planned on handing mine off to Matt Olson. I just freaking ran out of time. He was going to run it. Fan RC, thank you, Fan, for all you do. Thank you for helping us carry over and having parts for these cars forever. Bokeh Racing, they donated a lot of the bodies that Dwayne painted. They also donated several bodies for Legends cars. Thank you, sir. DW Designs, we talked about earlier. You're my boy, D. Donovan Racing, man. I got some of his leads right here. I want to pull one of them off. But I told him, I went to his website and I was almost intimidated by his website. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to order from that website. So he goes, dude, you just need to go to the ones but I found them in the shop and they had my colors, man. Look at that. I got my orange and yellow and my gray. Sweet, right?
Yeah.
But man, he makes the nicest leads in the industry right now. All handmade. He does them right. So check out Donovan RC. Mike Kirby, RC Pickers. Thank you. Like you said, if there's an RC heaven, it's on Mike Kirby's land for sure. Thank you guys. I'm trying to see if I missed. Oh, Andy's. Andy Jacobson. Prayers for Andy. Guys, I wanted Andy to be here so bad. So bad. And he was so excited to come. And Andy's fighting stuff right now. I don't want to tell too much of his business, but he just was not able to be here. And I really wanted this for him. I really wanted him to come hang out with his old buddies that him and I grew up racing with. And I wanted it so bad. So I hope that he has the opportunity to make one of these and maybe we can have one closer to him. JConcepts, of course. Jason, thank you. I think I've got it. I'm sorry. I'm a little tore up right this second. I think I got it. Yokomo. I don't think I mentioned Yokomo. Yokomo, man, they come through big.
Yokomo MIP.
Yeah, I talked about MIP. Eustace being there. Oh my God, dude. He's like an RC god. You know that,
He's
right?
a cool dude.
He is a cool dude, isn't he?
He really is just a cool dude. You see
He's
him,
a cool dude, right?
He just looks like a super cool SoCal dude.
Yeah. So another one of my buddies and my close friends reached out to me today and said, you know what? Freaking Eustace is just cool.
He is.
He's like, I want to send him like a package just to say thank you for being cool.
Yeah.
That's how freaking cool Eustace is.
Yeah.
And to see him there with that kit, and we are going to do another live video, folks. We got to finish. We got to finish what we started. We got to finish the second video that we never did live. But we will. Eustace and I will hop on a live cast. Hopefully we can have Drew on there as well. Kirby was on the last one. Drew was on the first one with us. Yeah, but Yokomo donated, a couple vintage kits. Them, Schumacher, Associated, Kyosho are really, keeping us with cars, man, to race, right?
Yeah.
So, guys, mark your calendars for the Vintage Off-Road Nats, September. I believe it's 5th, 6th. It's the first weekend. And then right behind that, a little more, a month and a week later, it's Vegas, baby. I can tell you this Vegas event's going to be special. Probably about a week from now. I don't know how much longer Michael Wardle's going to let me have. But we're gonna start really promoting the Vegas race. We're gonna start hopefully kind of similar to the way we did this race. We'll see. Oh, Chuck, thank you so much for the thank you from you, buddy.
So Dirk, what is your next race? What are you doing next?
Well, here's the deal. I was saying earlier, I don't know that I can go 5 months without racing a vintage car.
Yeah, no.
So we're gonna
race something.
We got to fit something in somewhere.
Yeah.
If you're interested in holding a vintage event, I'm thinking I'd like to do something in the summer sometime. Maybe, I don't know. I got to look at work too, because I got like events and different things I got to do.
Aren't you like the lunch lady at a college?
I am.
Nice.
Yes, I got to wear a beard net every day.
That's awesome.
I'm the lunch lady. You're such a fucker. But I love you.
But no, hey, we should find some time to get you out to the track again soon.
Yes, I need to get to the track soon. And I really.
What is your closest track, Dirk? What is your home track?
So right now, I guess my home track would be Crossville, which they have the farm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, they got a nice A scale.
Yeah.
Nice A scale track, and then they've got the one inside the barn that is a nice 10 scale, but they normally run A scale.
Yeah,
that would be a cool ass place to do some vintage racing inside that building.
Yeah, I think Jose ran there? Didn't he run there? I thought
Jose?
I saw video of someone running there at an indoor track in the barn.
I don't know. We used to have a lot. We do have Apex, but they're only doing on road now. They used to do off road as well. That's Eric Anderson's track, which is...
How far is that from you? Is Murfreesboro?
Murfreesboro is an hour and 15 or so.
It's 3 for me. Because I was thinking with AE come with the new on-road car.
That might be fun. It's a hell of a facilities. We used to have an off-road track in there too. So
yeah, I've been there twice for the off-road race.
Yeah.
What's funny? Speaking of hobby stuff, I don't know if you've ever been in there for a night, but they are huge on their slot car drag racing.
Yes. I was talking to Barry Schimmel the other day, and they just bought one too.
Did they?
So he's adding one. Thanks to Eric.
I never knew that was a thing. I swear, I thought it was all these RC racers in the pits, and I was wrong. It was all these drag race slot car guys. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, he had I think he had a slot car oval at one point in time too, maybe.
Oh wow.
He's kind of turned it into Eric's a great dude. The whole family is really awesome.
Yeah.
Not related, but good dude. Yes, I want to get these vintage cars out soon. Oh, there is a race. If anybody's got the fever, I think there's a race this weekend. Hold on. Jason Santos was telling me they've got a race coming up. Where did I see it? Jason, are you watching? Or Baldwin? Anybody? Where's that race at this weekend? They're doing they got a barn or something they race in there, and it's like real dirt.
Okay. Oh, Roostapalooza, someone just posted.
Yeah, Roostapalooza. Yeah. Let me see if I can find it, and I'll post it up. If anybody's looking to race, I wish I could go to it. I can't pull it off. I think I would.
My next I'm going to is we've got that North Georgia shootout here.
Oh yeah,
the Ray-Bun Arena. Mark Moon puts it on. It's so beautiful because you can stay at motels there, but most everyone gets like these mountain houses for like $80 a night, and you're up in the
Oh, really?
mountains, and it's beautiful. You know,
So
I
where's
actually
that
had,
at?
so it's Ray Bunn Arena, but it's in Tiger, Georgia, so it's literally like right up on the state line
Is that
to
A
the
scale? I
north.
take it.
Yeah, but it's nice. I mean, it's nice. It's low key. It's an open arena. Uh, Brian Burnett puts the layout in, always puts a fantastic layout in, and it's really a good time. Again, you're in this equestrian center in the mountains, and
Right.
it's just absolutely beautiful.
You want to
So
hear something crazy? It's
yeah,
literally less than a mile and a half down the road from me. We have a whole ag building very similar to what they run P&B in. It's
yeah,
part of my college that I work for.
oh yeah,
Yes. I kind of
nice.
have a vision of someday doing a race right there.
I feel like it would be really cool. Like I think that and I was hoping that a lot more hype would be brought on with the worlds being outdoor this year. But I really think that I mean because they used to do it at what was that race earlier they did it's in Pennsylvania, the one that indoor race in the facility they do like sprint car races and all that there. I forget what it's called right now, but you know that used to be a big 10 scale indoor covered arena race, and I feel like if
Yeah.
we could get some 10 scale arena races or on temporary tracks or getting outdoor racing going again, it just 10 scale is just slowly dying off, and especially out here in the south. There's only I literally Hoosiers my closest, or New Red Hobbies is my closest tracks.
Right. So I
Unless I'm
think
wrong.
I think I'm going to carry on this live cast and keep going with different things, and I want to have different people on, and maybe we can just have a series on air and
Yeah.
talk about racing. There we go. Motorama is what Jason he said you're talking about.
That's
Motorama.
those Motorama, yeah. That dude, I remember Chad Dew and all them in Mayfield used to go there and
Yeah.
run short
Hell yeah.
course
It's
and two
big.
wheel, and it
Yeah.
was like super badass. And
We
I don't
got to
know,
get
I just
outdoors.
huh?
We got to get outdoors.
Yeah.
So that
I
Australia
really
track, dude,
yeah.
rear motor would have dominated that in two-wheel drive, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, they're all there testing, and I've tried to chat with some of the powers that be over there, and they're on their own
Yeah.
program. I tried to like induce some of the Van Aerisms because I've
Yeah.
run. I related my B7. I built it, and the first place I went with it was Phil Hurd, and I ran it outdoor. I never even ran it indoor first, so like
Right.
I've got some time on it, and but the Australians, the Mondays, and Donnelly and all them guys, they're flying out there, Australians, so they've got a lot of their stuff figured out for sure. But this
Do you think a rear motor would compete in that race?
I think I did just see the Al Horn sign on here, and I'm pretty positive because of how epic he
Yeah,
is, he's
Horn
gonna
sign
show
on.
up with his B5 and run his B5 rear motor there, and just I bet he'll go out there and just dominate.
I hope he does. I hope they let him run it.
Oh, why wouldn't they? They'd let him run it.
You think they would?
Yeah, hell
Oh
yeah.
yeah, let it rip. I was wondering if AE would let him, but
Did
yeah,
you watch? Did you watch any of the warm up stuff? There
yeah,
was
oh
there
yeah,
was a YZ10 there.
yeah. I
There was
saw
an
that.
870 in four
Yeah,
wheel, and
yeah,
there was a World's car and a Champ car both
yeah.
running. It was
Oh
awesome.
really? Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
All right. So I want to go through some of these comments. I think this is the most comments we've ever had. I said I was cutting this off at 30 minutes, but hey,
I'm cutting you off.
you gonna cut me off?
No, I'm not cutting you off. It's all right.
All right. All right. Let's see here. Oh, damn, that fixed itself. That never happens.
It's because you used your good finger.
Hey. All right. So Larry Doe, what's up? I just want to go through some comments. You cool to hang around for a minute?
Yeah.
Hope you're having fun, feeling better. I'm not, but I'm getting there. My boy Gabe, Eddie Henley, the man. I didn't post any comments throughout this event that we were so intrigued. I want to go back, same track next year. Jason Hall, you should have stayed. Sorry you didn't get to. Gabe, Alan Horn. I'm just talking about what Gabe's saying. Hoping for 2.0, Richard Medlin said. We will see. Drew said on his doing something for Joel's 60th birthday would be amazing.
Yeah.
That's 3 years away. I think having some kind of race for Joel would be absolutely amazing. He's kind of my first legend I kind of got to hang out with when I was a kid, and went to a Worlds with, and it was kind of like, he's my dude. and will always will be.
Yeah.
Um,
It's funny when you get into this because you're like, what's your age again? Just go ahead and say it.
52.
So we're 10 years apart. So it
Yeah.
sounds right. So you're more in like the Jay Halsey and all them era.
Yeah.
And like to me, like I remember when I was a kid, the indoor track I was at actually held the Roar Nationals one time for on road. And Kenwald was there. And I remember like I was 10. I'll never forget like his car stopped on track and I grabbed it and I wanted to be the first person to walk over and hand him his car. I was like, oh, it's Brian Kenwald, and it was just so cool, and so
Right.
Kenwald to me was just always, and it's funny, I had been around him a few times at the track, but I don't know. He was the one I always was so like starstruck with when it was Kenwald. You're just like, but like,
Did you do?
buddies of mine like Matty G and them say like, and obviously Spencer, they always have such awesome things to say about him. I wish I wasn't such a vagina and would have just went up and talked to him.
Did you? You didn't do the FM. What the hell was that thing called? He did the Mary. What the hell was that called? That our crazy ass Michael Ellis, the painter, did. You had to
Yeah.
F one, you had to marry one, you had to kill one.
Oh
Did you
no,
see those videos here? So you
I
did
didn't
not.
know.
You would have killed my ass too, wouldn't you?
Maybe.
All right. So Tim, I wasn't there, but watching from home, messaging with friends I haven't talked to in a while, and watching top-notch coverage racers that I'm excited to watch. Man, Tim, it broke my heart that you weren't there, brother. You're an OG, man. You're an OG racer. Lance, it meant the world to me to stand beside Mini Me and race with him. He'll carry the memories longer than me, and glad. Carter's my dude. I'm telling you, Von Air, we got to put some time into Carter.
Yeah.
That dude, I'm telling you right now, if we put time in that little man, he will be a world champion. He can.
Yeah.
He just needs the right people behind him. And
where's he at?
Huh?
Where's he at?
Lance, where are you guys located if you're still on? I'm thinking they're in Georgia somewhere.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think they are in Georgia. Gabe, the race meant, here, let me put these up. The race meant to me, was old school legends, get to hang out one last time. We got to race and have fun. Remember our friend Brian Dunbar and Kim Wall. Yes, we did. And don't say one last time, Gabe. I don't want to hear that out of your mouth. We're going to do our damnedest to try this again, okay?
Hell yeah.
The only way. Hi, wifey. Oh, I am past my time. We had a date at 8:30, didn't we? Okay.
Sorry, Christy. He's dating Chris tonight, not Christy.
Right. She already thinks I spend too much damn time with you. The only way it could have improved is if the marshals wore those yard aeration shoes to loosen up the dirt a bit. You're so damn crazy. All right, here we go. Adam Shaver. Attending this race meant that I had a chance to brush elbows with, chat with, and watch some of my childhood idols race in person. People who I read about in magazines 25 to 30 years ago that inspired to be like were there. RC needs an event like this annually. I have 3-year-old twins and don't get nearly as much time to partake as online, and my wife and I agreed I can go to one big race per year. This would be the only race I went to every year if attendance and legends participated. I agree, Adam. It's just, I think Drew talked about it, man. It's a lot to pull this off yearly. It really is.
It is something special though. I mean, it's, I kind of brought it up literally the week before this event. A favorite movie of mine, Rad, which is I think
you were talking about it. You want to stop fucking talking about it.
Yeah,
honestly.
so they had the Rad night. Well, afterwards they did this whole documentary about why it's touched so many people.
Right.
And it just was something from our childhood that, I had my kids with me and I showed them. And I mean, God, when I was like 8, 9 years old. Me and my kids would watch it or me and my neighbors would watch it like 9 o'clock in the morning, and we'd get out, and we'd be bashing around on our bikes and reliving
Yeah.
all the scenes from the movie. And
Dude, I
you know,
lived on my bike and skateboards as a kid.
yeah,
Lived
for
on 'em.
sure.
Yeah.
And then same with this RC stuff, like he's saying, it's like, God, like I remember nights like under the sheets, I guess I should have had a Playboy, but I had a Car Action magazine instead, and I'm sitting there looking at all this stuff and like all the new parts that came out at the 95 Worlds and
Yeah.
like circling all the part numbers on Stormer Hobbies, like, oh, I want to get all this, and then like freaking Bob Stormer is walking around the pits taking everyone's pictures at the
Isn't that
race.
crazy?
I'm
I
like, dude,
feel
I
like
used to call you all the time
right.
and like order
Yeah.
these parts when I was like 12. Like,
Yeah.
dude,
Bob, man, yeah, Bob. I wish he had a better experience with his cars not racing and a few different things, but I hope Bob knows how important it was for him to be there. I mean, you
yeah.
can't have an event like this and not have Bob Stormer there. When he
I
told
mean,
me,
to be fair, I've seen him posting on here so many times, but it was
yeah,
just like, I don't know. It was almost like a mythical person. I don't know that I ever really had seen his
did you
face.
spend
And
any
then
time with him at all?
I did. I near the end of the event, I finally went up to him and I talked to him and I was like, because I'd been busy or whatever, and I just was like, Bob Stormer, I got to talk to you. I was
Right.
like, because it was funny, because like again, when my dad had passed away, it was just me and my mother, and like because she didn't know what to do with me, she was just like, just here, order something off of Stormer or something like that. And so I'd go on and I would talk to this person on the other end of the phone because that's what you did. There was no online or there was nothing. You had the magazine that had part numbers, and then you just called the number. And so this person would pick up, and I don't know for sure if it was him or not, but it was always the same man. And he was always, and he would like, I don't know if it was the beginning of caller ID, be like, hey, is this Chris? And I'm like, oh yeah, hey. And like, I'd order, oh, I need
I
like some
know it
tires or I need this
right.
motor, and then it was just like, it's
He,
just such a different time.
dude, he posted how far he drove.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was like 3,600 miles or something.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Animal.
holy cow.
And wasn't he running like a Schumacher cat and two wheel
Dude,
that weekend?
I don't even think he knew what he was going to run until he got there.
He had cool
And
stuff.
then we had all
too.
that because all the classes filled. But Bob, thank you from the bottom of my heart for being there. You made so many people's days. The moments you spent with them at that track, people will remember forever. And I hope you understand that because it was very special. I want to read, man, there's so many comments. I think we're going to have to do another extended version of this, Chris, because I got to go. I had a date.
You have a date?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. She just walked up here naked, man. And now I've got to go like chase it,
Well, mine's in the shower, so
Is she? Sweet. It says it was a surreal experience. I knew it was going to be great, but it's hard to put into words the experience. It really felt like two separate things, the race and the vintage experience. It was so great to talk to some of the legends as well as talk and thank some of the people that put so much effort into this event for us. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Rob. That means the world to all of us. Lance Jones, I just wanted to win a B main to get a mat. I didn't even care to A main. Man, Lance, did you get a mat? I can't remember if you got a mat or not. Curtis was amazing. Hey, Jerry Walter, man, I'm so glad you came and brought all the boys from California, meeting Lake and meeting all those folks and spending time with Spear. I've always heard so many great things about Spear, and he truly was. He's like, both of those guys were just like
he was a cool dude. I sweat when I went. I was able to go to the Worlds a couple years ago at Hobby Action and had a dismal showing, but he was there. And I know we were on track a couple times. We never really got to talk, but he's one of those names that you always hear, Scott Spear. He's done a lot of things, and so being able to spend some time and actually talk to him and race with him this weekend was really awesome. Such a good dude, and
oh my god, what a
he like pulled the best out of me all weekend.
Yeah.
He was totally on it, and it was really a good time spending with them. Like I said, a lot of good people. Like the guy said, it's like there was the race, but then it was just like
there was a race and there was a reunion, man, and that's what we wanted it to be. That's why we had the reunion piece on there. It's
you really just can't say it enough, and I don't know that like we keep saying it, but it's just like, man, if you miss this race, God, you sure missed such a good time.
We've said it so many times in the beginning. So David Bird said, how do we get one of the 410s? He sold it, would be limited. So, David, more to come on the 410, but you had to be at the race to get one. I'm just kidding.
I was like,
We'll
wait a
see.
minute, did I miss
I
something?
can tell you this: the kit is going to be very limited. It's going to be limited to 500 kits. I don't know how he's going to do it. I'm going to try my best to convince him to at least do like 1,200. But we'll see. I think he's a little concerned, and there's never a guarantee, right? I told him to pre-order all of them, dude. You just pre-order every damn one of them. If they want it, they're going to pre-order it and give you time to get it. I mean, we've been waiting for 15 years anyway, so I think waiting another year is not going to, or another few months is not going to hurt us. Sure. So, David, you'll have to keep your ears open for the race. I will make sure I make a big announcement. I kind of think, he really wants to handle a lot of it internally, but him and I are going to have one more call. People saying how amazing it was. Jerome talking shit. Thanks to Mod.
Frenchie,
he gave me a kiss and a hug.
Me nothing.
Grace
God,
was amazing coverage, great event. Congratulations to all involved. I got to sit by Curtis Husting at dinner. This must be Dwayne. Was that Dwayne? Where's that? Where'd it go? Oh, what did I say? I got to sit by. Oh, Gabe said I got to sit by Curtis at dinner. I freaking love Gabe. Such a good dude.
He said that he drove 2,400 miles from Texas.
So. I know. He drove a long way.
He did.
Just wanted to say thank you to everyone that put on this epic event on Mod. Killed it with the live stream from here. Let me post this. Watched the whole weekend from my home in Fountain Hills, Arizona. I was fortunate to race my RC10 back in 1986 to 92. And then around Omaha, Nebraska, Jammin' Jay Halsey autographed my OG RC10 several times in World Chandler, Arizona. Yeah, I mean, this is what it was about, man. And I do. And we're going to end it here. Thank you all. We will have more live cast coming up. I want to give the sponsors an opportunity to come back on if they want to. We're going to have all the legends on. My wife's probably going to effing kill me because, yeah, I told her.
Christy, it's close,
I was going to stop after this for a little bit. But I do, because we got something special. We want to do the legends. We'll probably bring them in pairs or fours or whatever we got to do the announcement that we're going to talk about. Thanks again to everybody for supporting the race. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. I know it's long-winded, but I knew if Chris and I got on here together, it would be.
Hey, Greg's on there. Greggy!
Is Hodap on?
Hodap, what's up, buddy?
What up, Greg? I'll tell you what, man. I actually, I really like Greg. I hope we continue our relationship because he's a good dude. He's a good dude. You're a good dude, Gabe and Greg. They're right top on total mileage. I wonder who had the farthest drive. We need to figure that out. Like if somebody drove, was it Stormer?
Curious, how many people came from overseas?
One.
That one, yeah.
Yeah, John. I mean, he had the farthest travel, right?
Yeah. That's badass, though.
So what? Yeah, I mean, JC Racing. I mean,
yeah.
What an honor it was for him to come do this, dude. That those people over there are so jealous. And I told him, I said, dude, this could be the only time in your life that you get to do something like this.
Yeah.
Right. And he's nervous, but he started opening up, and him and I were talking like every day. And I'm like, man, I'm not trying to make you feel guilty if you don't come, but you really need to come. But it's like a life event for him and I to spend that time together. Greg, I can't thank you enough for being there, brother. All the legends that have popped in tonight to say hi. Thank you guys. Can't thank you enough.
Greg, you're coming to Vegas? If he's going to Vegas, let's go.
He did say he's going. I heard him say he's going. Greg, are you going to Vegas? Vegas, what a great place for a rematch.
Yeah. I'm seeing a lot of rematch stuffs coming up.
Oh.
Alan wants a 4-wheel rematch too. Let's go, buddy.
Chris, is Al going to be in Vegas?
He might be.
I want a 4-wheel rematch.
Nice.
I would have loved, what I would have loved to have done? We should have had you and Al head to head. Head to head.
Right.
After you won Two Wheel Classic and he won the.
Yeah, he definitely. I mean, I would say I think his car was definitely figured out better than mine. I made some changes going into the last main on mine, and I think I was a little too late. But I would have loved the opportunity to try.
Adam Rails just said I just scheduled time off work for Vegas.
Hell yeah!
What?
Rails is the man.
Oh hell, it's getting interesting now. Oh,
Rails
Chris
is the
Lance
man.
is in Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh, okay. There you go. Hell yeah.
So I want to race with Greg too. I didn't get a chance to race with him either. I guess if I would have made the A main and truck, I would have raced with him. My finger will be better by then, Greg. You're going down, baby. See this finger? It's coming for ya.
You put some of your udder butter on that thing, brother.
Coming
Jesus.
for ya.
Christ.
Ah.
That looked like ET phone home finger right there.
You're killing me.
Is that thing gonna light up when it gets closer? It looks
Yeah.
like it. Jeez.
They always told me if I pick my nose too much, this would happen.
Jeez.
Yeah,
You need to get. You know what you need to do? You need to get some chalk like it's a damn cue stick and just.
Ooh, I should do that. The thing is, I can't. It just feels weird, right? I can't put any pressure on it.
It always feels weird, but it's just something right about it. Just go with it.
I guess that's true. And if like a. Oh yes, this is the real stinky pick. No, it's the stinky index.
Yeah, this is stinky gangrene is what that is.
Talked about. Oh my, we got to do another show. We're just gonna have to. I am gonna have like the founding fathers on as well. We were afraid that if all four of us got on here at once, we would not be able to get a word in otherwise. So I'd like to have the founding fathers on one at a time and do this so they can talk. But ET, I love it. Oh, God, that's gonna be my new damn nickname now.
Dirk phone home.
Dirk phone home. All right, guys. Deuces. Well, almost deuces.
Ooh.
All right, y'all have a good night. Love you all. Thank you for making vintage great. I think maybe Chris and I should have a show. We should have our own podcast.
Let's do it.
All right, Al Horn.
Alan, you're a legend. Thank you for everything.
Gabe Boudreaux said you better bring your butt to Vegas. Let's do Vegas. Let's do it. Oh, Riggs. My boy Maverick Riggs. I want to personally remove his rookie stripes. I told him I would do it on my first live cast, and I almost forgot. I am going to have him on, but Maverick, you are a hell of a wheel man.
He is.
I hope you continue racing vintage car. I think he finished like in the top 5 in the 8, didn't he?
He was in there. I know I heard his name coming. I watched several of his races. He's moving. And when I came out to practice earlier on, I battled him in truck, and the kid's a wheel,
Did Adam Rails break in that race or something? I saw he finished like 6th or 7th or something.
I'm not sure. I thought he was in
Adam,
there.
did you break? Or you just get whooped?
No. Rouse doesn't go down without a fight. I mean, it took a whole immovable column to keep him from winning the 4-wheel race. So.
Carrie, don't tell Danny, but one of my favorite parts of the race was finally getting to give you a hug, Carrie, after all these years of us talking online. It was awesome. And Danny has not commented that I said it was good to see you and not him yet. But all right. Next time we're going to plan 3 hours for the show. It's 9 p.m. It's been 2 hours. I love you all, but I barely have a voice, and I got to go take care of something.
Take care of something.
Something.
Do you know what? You need their instruction manual, or you got it?
I still got it, brother.
All right. Don't bring that finger out. That might close down this whole situation. I'm just saying. Give me your strong hand, not the little one.
You won't let me get nearer with this finger.
No.
What did Greg do? Greg, we love you, Greg. We do. Hey, I'll be in touch soon to talk about, yes, Brock, I'm going to have to get flowers for sure. But, all right, how many times can we say goodbye?
Bye.
Hey, enjoy this video, people.
Good night.